Hi, good afternoon. I think we're going to start. We have quite a packed schedule, and we're going to do our very, very best to stick to that schedule. So, Assalamu alaikum, hello, mahaba, welcome, konnichiwa. My name is Shumon Basar, and I'm the commissioner of the Global Art Forum. But it's been put together by a multi-headed and multi-talented team, which includes, on my left, my very wonderful co-directors, Omar Berrada and Ala Younis. Also immense credit to Uns Katan and Miriam Butti and our heroic team at Art Dubai. We have our new colleagues in Doha. We have the support of QMA and Katara Art Center, and in particular Malak Hassan and Maisa Fatu have been very special over the last few weeks. So this is actually day 3 of the forum. Days 1 and 2 happened on Saturday and Sunday in Doha, and Omar will be telling us more about what happened there in a few minutes' time. And so many others have shown fierce generosity over the last 6 months. We are deeply grateful to that generosity and to their insights and their kindness. Thank you to our benefactors, Dubai Culture and Arts Authority, and also to the Arab Fund for Art and Culture. Thanks also to our new collaboration with Ibraz and the Kamal Lazar Foundation for bringing these days online, streamed, and also translated bilingually. So actually it's a very important announcement that we should make. For those of you who would prefer to listen to the sessions in Arabic, we have headsets, and please take them. The whole of the next 3 days will be bilingually available on these headsets. The International New York Times is our international media partner, and also a preemptive thanks to our audiences, real and virtual. We mean you. Without you, we'd literally be sitting in this room alone, contemplating the futility of our existence. So just a basic bit of housekeeping. Please switch your phones to silent right now, please. We know how annoying it is when they go off. And if you wish to tweet during the Global Art Forum, the hashtag that we're using is hashtag GAF8. GAF8. Okay. So just a few words about the Global Art Forum. Some of you are familiar faces, some are not. So over the past few years, the Global Art Forum may have questioned the inherent significance of the middle word in our title. Of course, that word is art. We may also have forbidden white leather sofas, but black leather is okay. And we've also waged a war against the words panel and keynote because they have a provenance which is something that we'd prefer to evade. Because what you are is always a measure of what you definitely don't want to be. And so the forum takes pleasure in thinking, in the modes of thinking and the modes of address, and it makes this public for you. It invokes Oprah Winfrey and Michel Foucault sitting on couches like these, supported by cushions like these, live on television. We try to pay attention to the rhythm of your attention, the same one that's already contending with your Facebook feeds, your email inboxes, and poor Wi-Fi reception. It's why, over the course of each day, you'll see that we attenuate the rhythm of the sessions. And just a mental sidebar here, your attention span is, by and large, biologically 18 minutes long. So there are ideas and feelings, and I hope you feel something after you've forgotten everything else about the next 3 days. Could we play the clip, please?
Enemy of historical continuity and historical memory.
Yes, because for one thing, you see, the mechanisms, in the past there are always mechanisms by which the young generation is linked with the older generations. For instance, Marc Bloch,
the great French historian.
The great French historian once pointed out that in actual fact, in agrarian societies, continuity is maintained by jumping generations. Children are brought up by grandparents because parents go out and work in the fields. And so consequently, children immediately get introduced to what grandparents remember of their past, and so on in turn.
And that's been broken up in our
This
centuries.
has been broken completely for a variety of reasons. For one thing, indeed, I mean, the experience of the past is quite often no longer relevant or no longer seems relevant to the younger generation. And consequently, it becomes something different. The only past which people, very young people, really recognize is their own personal past. The rest is something like olden times.
Can you travel in space? I mean, can you travel in time?
Well, we do travel in time, of course, all the time. We move back and forth in time. And I have found that there was a man named Dunn, wrote a book called An Experiment with Time, and he found that his dreams consisted not only of the past, but of future events as well. And I have found this to be true since I write my dreams down, and very often I will dream something that then later happens. So in that sense, yes, I think it would be easier to travel into the future in a real sense than into the past.
Yes, so our theme the title of our Global Art Forum, the edition for our Global Art Forum this year is Meanwhile History. The title is courtesy of Sofia Al-Maria and artist Sofia Al-Maria from Qatar. And we realized that there are so many timelines, there are endless timelines, and they're so various and variant to the point that we have relationship to some and not to many. We have a relationship to many, but we tried to merge many timelines, many of these timelines in one timeline, and to look for points of parallels within this timeline to make sense of what was happening in one region and another, or to skip generations as well and try to find to understand in better ways what was happening in times where we were not, in times that we do not necessarily relate to. And we also we were trying to find transformational points in these timelines where things were something and turned into something else, maybe. And with all these attempts, we are trying as well to create a map, maybe throughout the works and the years of whether Global Art Forum editions or our work as also individuals who are interested in similar stories. We try to create, finally, we will be creating a map, of course, that covers different geographies and different times and different topics, but they are all undiscovered within these, within like our attempts to cover these topics. We discover similarities and differences. And just to explain a little bit about the clip that we have seen, it's Eric Hobsbawm and the historian Eric Hobsbawm, and in the first clip, and it was writer William Burroughs in the second, and it's on how we can, how we skip generations, how we move around timelines, and also how we can imagine a future, but rather like a dream of a future rather than of a past.
As Shumon was saying a minute ago, the Global Art Forum started in Doha this past weekend. In Doha, there were 3 themes. There was a conversation about the spaceship Sheraton, which some of you might know, and Doha's urban master plan. And there was also a discussion of the death of Perling in Qatar. And these 2 conversations will be echoed here by similar conversations in the context of the UAE. And there was also a conversation about stories of migration in life and in video between the Middle East and Brazil. So in Dubai, we have more time, in a way. This is going to happen over 3 days, and so we will be doing some seriously vertiginous time traveling. To give you a few yardsticks or ideas or examples, we will travel through 778 AH, when Ibn Khaldun wrote the Muqaddimah, through the first week of September 1920, when Soviet Orientalism was shaped, 1955, when Documenta was founded, 2055, when Documenta will be 100 years old, 1966, and stories of literature, the CIA, and Sudanese Gulf. We will dwell in the short 70s in the newly formed UAE, but also in Iran, in Greece, in Chile. We will be looking at 4 decades of Kuwait's cultural experiments. We will be looking at Iran's art history exporting itself to Dubai, and Pan-Arabism's lesser-known derivative, Pan-Kafirism. And because the Global Art Forum is more than just talking and sitting on a black leather couch, I will let Shumon tell you the other parts of it that are not necessarily always apparent when you're sitting within this room.
Thank you, Omar. So yeah, there's a kind of expanded Global Art Forum that has been taking place in the months leading up to today, and this is something that's been very important to us over the last few years. So between the sessions, we'll be playing what we call video postcards, and these are commissions made by 2 artists, Raja Khalid and Sarah Abu Abdallah. And we asked them to imagine that we were receiving transmissions from either the past or the future. And so Raja has been looking at a really interesting and very idiosyncratic American television program from the 1950s, really at the beginning of the height of kind of Cold War paranoia. And Sarah Abu Abdallah has been looking at exactly what Eric Hobsbawm mentioned, which is when all that seems to matter is our own personal history. And how that is manifested today for many of us on our Facebook timeline. So Sarah has made a wonderful series of videos based around Facebook timelines. Outside, in the corner over there, the artist Annabelle Daou will be seeing into people's futures during her performance Fortune. This takes place every day at 2 p.m. Just outside here. And once you hear your future, of course, nothing will ever be the same again. Hin Mazaina has made a lovely montage for Meanwhile, which is the final talk which Omar is hosting on Friday afternoon. And please don't forget to pick up your Meanwhile pins. They're available here and out there. And there's 6 of them altogether. Today I'm wearing Meanwhile Crisis, and hopefully that will make more sense as the day goes on. Thank you to Vivek for making these for us. And we have a space over in the Jumeirah ballroom called Forum. It's a media repository space, and it also includes a selected archive of previous years' global art forums, the medium of media, and It Means This, as well as our publishing initiative, Globe Books, some of which are outside on the front desk, and other video material like the commissions that you'll see today. Forum, if you can't make it here, Forum will also be live streaming the sessions and then archiving them the day after. So you can also, if you've missed something, you can see it the day after. Very, very lastly, we're grateful to Terdad Zolghada. He's leading the Forum Fellows this year around the theme of curating. And for us, we're very proud to have this as another kind of extended aspect of the Forum's expanded activities over the year. So, to conclude, we sincerely hope you enjoy Meanwhile History. Now over to Ala, who's going to introduce our first session.